Honey, I'm home. I'm Sangeeta and welcome to my channel. You don't need super sharp culinary skills to make the perfect donuts. All you need is some time, less than an hour that is, to make these bakery style donuts at home. It's light, airy and delicious. This recipe is beginner friendly and I don't really see any way that you can screw this up. So let's get started. In a large mixing bowl, drop in 1 cup or 250 grams of all-purpose flour. Now toss in 1 teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of baking soda into the flour. Let's add 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Let's follow that up with 2 teaspoons of sugar. Use a wooden ladle and mix this up real well. Now drop in 1/3 of a cup of yogurt. Make sure you're using yogurt and not curd. You need thick, creamy hung curd. Let's mix it up. Now pour in 1/3 of a cup of lukewarm milk into the flour. I'm only adding half of it. Let's mix this up. You can use your hand and bring the flour together, but it's sticky and messy at this stage, so I'll be using a ladle for now. Let's pour in the rest of the milk. Now you may need all of the milk or sometimes you may need less or maybe a teaspoon more. So be careful while adding the milk. It's okay to have a slightly sticky dough. Now let's knead the dough well. It will take you about a minute or two. Knead until the dough turns soft and sticky. Now toss in 15 grams of butter and knead the dough. Your dough will get slippery initially, but it will soon get smoother. Your dough would be slightly sticky, so add a tablespoon or 2 of flour. Do not make a tight dough. I used 1 tablespoon of extra flour. This is how your dough should look. It's soft but not sticky. You can see that it is not a firm dough. Close the bowl with a plate and allow this to rest for 20 to 30 minutes. I've left mine to rest for 25 minutes. The dough hasn't doubled in size because we haven't used yeast, but it has definitely increased a little in volume. You can also see that the dough is now flexible and soft. Sprinkle some flour onto your countertop. Do not add too much of flour. Place your dough and flatten it with your hand first. Dust very little flour on top of the dough now. Now use a rolling pin and roll the dough out into a circle or rectangle. This is how thick your dough should be rolled out. Do not roll it out thin because then you will end up with a very flat donut and you don't want that. Let's turn on the lights so that you and I can see better. Dust the cutter with some flour to prevent it from sticking. Go ahead and cut the circles. You can use a lid of any bottle or the open part of a big jar or even a glass to make the circle if you do not have a cutter. For the smaller circle, I use the lid of a plastic ketchup sachet, so get creative. Place the cut donuts on a well-dusted surface so that it doesn't stick to the counter. Now place a clean cloth over it so that it doesn't dry out. Rest the cut out donut for about 10 minutes before frying. Let's continue rolling out the rest. Do not add or dust any flour. The dough will not stick now. Now you will see that the dough is being difficult here. I'm unable to flatten it out because it keeps shrinking back in. When this happens, cover the dough and let it rest for about 5 minutes. Your dough will stretch easily once well rested. See, it works like a charm. Now cut up the rest. I'll be shaping up the last bit of dough using my hand. Now heat up enough oil. Heat it on medium flame. Now before dropping in the donut, you'll have to stretch the dough a little. Make the hole slightly bigger, else you'll end up with a very puffed up, sad looking donut with no hole. Do this carefully, do not tear the dough. Drop it in the hot oil. Reduce the flame to a medium-low. Do not fry it in high flame. I'm not speeding up this part. I'll allow you to see exactly how long it takes to fry both the sides. Once the dough fluffs up a bit, you can use a spoon and pour the oil on top like so. It'll help fluff the donuts up. As you can see, it doesn't take too long to brown the donuts. Let's continue with the rest. If you're new to this channel, hi and welcome. I'm so glad you found this channel. Do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. This recipe was a request I got on my Instagram page. She wanted a donut recipe that did not have eggs and yeast. So here we are today. So if you do have any specific request, I would love to hear them. You can send me a message on my Instagram page at honeyamhome. Link can be found in the description box. They smell incredible and the weight is almost torture. So I ended up tasting one. Look how beautiful the texture is. It's soft and fluffy. This is the last donut I'm frying. Let's make the icing. Drop in 250 grams of icing sugar in a bowl. Drop in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Pour in 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Now drop in a tablespoon of milk and mix it in. Then gradually keep adding another tablespoon. It takes about 3 to 4 tablespoons to get this consistency. You can add water if you wish to instead of milk. I have made a very simple glaze. You can get creative with this. You can dip this in ganache or dust it in sugar or even dip it in jam. It's up to you. Dip the cool donuts into the glaze. I grew up eating the donuts at Koshys, and if any of you loved it, here's a fantastic news. These taste ditto like the ones we used to get over there. The first bite of this brought back so many memories for me. The glaze hardens up over time, and that's it. That's how easy it is to make these wonderful donuts. I could make 8 medium sized donuts using this recipe. Let's show you how it looks on the inside again. It's almost impossible to not get the glaze on your fingers. It's soft, fluffy, delicious, and chocolatey. These donuts were a hit. I hope you do get to try this soon. Until next time.